Hey everybody, welcome to the Bourbon Basement. I'm Steve. Today, what I wanted to do was, I guess, have a self-imposed intervention again. What we did the last episode, our last live episode, the last live episode of the month, I wanted to show you all the bottles that the Bourbon Basement had gotten for the month so you would know what episodes to look forward to, some upcoming episodes. Well, I uh I did it again. So last month on that episode I had, I don't know, 14 or 15 bottles and I asked for help. This month I ended up with more when I thought I'd end up with less. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go through some bottles. I'm not going to tell you any history. I'm just going to tell you what we got, and maybe you can suggest an episode or two that you'd like to see out of the bottles I'm getting ready to talk about. So everything that we got this month is behind me on the floor. Top two shelves. Nothing from the bottom here, well, except one. So this bottle here I got at an auction. It's the Charter 101 Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 101 proof, Old Charter Distilling Company. It is a screw top, and I got it from an auction. So that's all I know. I didn't do a whole lot of research. It was just one of those bottles that I saw was a Kentucky bourbon. They had it valued at this much, and I got it for this much. And so I thought it might be a good deal. I may have overpaid. I may not have. I don't know because I haven't done any research on it. But Charter 101. So we'll see if we like that one. Let's go with this one next. This one here I see all over the place now, but when I bought it, it was the first time I saw it. It's the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. This is a Green River product. It is just the Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Green River. So this is more of a special bottle. Now, personally, I don't usually collect special bottles. Um, but this one here, 250th anniversary U.S. Army. I was in the Army. I was attracted to the bottle, so I went ahead and got it. I probably won't drink this bottle for a while because I do have a standard a straight Green River, so I don't need to open this one. I can hang on to it for a little while. But I found it in a little liquor store. When I got it, it was the first time I had seen the bottle, so not a big deal. This one here actually got on Father's Day. It's just the Knob Creek Single Barrel Kentucky Straight Bourbon. We've done a show on this before, I believe, but it's a good thing because this one's already almost gone, and I might have some of it while we're talking about the rest of this stuff. You know what? I think I will. I'm gonna go ahead and get my Glencairn out and pour me some of this Knob. This is Knob Creek Single Barrel. It is 120 proof. 9 years old, so it is a very good pour. It's very far. But that bottle's almost gone since Father's Day. This one here, you already seen it. This is the second bottle of 1972 Sweet Wheat that I got. Here was the first one we did our live show on the other night. So I ended up with two bottles of those. I told you the story about it on the show. If you want to hear the story about the 1792 Sweet Wheat, go watch that live episode. But they're Kentucky straight bourbon, 45.6 alcohol, so 91.2 proof. Ended up with two because I wanted one for my rainbow to have it sitting on my shelf over there and one to drink. Let's see here. Y'all seen an episode on this one? This was Blanton's Gold. So there's a Blanton's Gold episode in there. It's Restrunk Gold, I think, and put on there. But anyway, the story behind this bottle's on there. But of course, Blanton's Gold is the 103 proof. Uh, Blanton's tells you all the special things about it. It tells you the bottle number, tells you the barrel number, tells you the barrel date. A lot of this was 11/11/24. A lot of people, when it was bottled, a lot of people like to collect those dates for special occasions, birthdays, anniversaries, stuff like that. But that's that one. Let's see here. All right. So here's so I live here in Paris, Kentucky, and this Hartfield Company is right here in Paris, Kentucky. This is their weeded bourbon. It's 100 proof, and Hartfield and Company. So the reason I got this bottle is to go along with this bottle. This is the Old Bourbon County, also made by Hartfield Company. So the Old Bourbon County's Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Hartfield Company, Paris, Kentucky. It's 110 proof. I've never had either one of these, okay? But I've heard this one especially. I haven't heard much about this one, but this one I've heard is very, very good. So I got these to do a show on Hartfield. Um, but I think I'm going to have a special guest and a special bottle, and we'll talk about a little bit about these, but we'll probably do that special bottle for the tasting, and I think that'll be a fantastic episode. Speaking of tasting, we're going to have our bourbon, the next bourbon basement invite only tasting on the 11th, and I've got some special bottles planned on that. So after the 11th, we're going to have another episode, and we'll talk about that tasting, what we did, what we thought, and all that kind of stuff. I like those shows. According to views and everything, they don't get as many as some of the others, but that's some of the most interesting bourbon that we do because it's always really good bourbon. And then I have several different opinions on what it's about. So those are good episodes. We've got 3 episodes already about other tastings. If you haven't viewed into them, go back and find them in the archives and tune into them. They're usually a tasting recap or something like that. So I'll try that. Uh, so I got this one here. So this is a limited edition cast strength Jefferson's Reserve. Now, not all Jefferson's Reserve bourbon is a Kentucky straight bourbon, but this is a Kentucky straight bourbon, and it's 130 proof. I've been wanting to try some of the Jefferson's Reserve, but like I said, you have to really be careful if you're particular. Which I'm only particular because we do our show on Kentucky bourbons, right? So I don't want to go and spend 60 to 80 to $100 on a bourbon that I can't do a show on. So that I have to be really careful in the liquor stores when I'm looking at these things. I got this one at Liquor Barn on their allocated shelf. It was a only one per person. This was the last bottle. It was like $80. I think that's a pretty good price uh, for the limited edition cast strength. Now, I've never had the Jefferson's Reserve, so 130 proof to start out with. It's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one. Let's see what else we got back here. All right. So I got this one on a sale. This was a sale at Total Wine. It's just the Chestnut Farms bottled in bond. Of course, that's 100 proof. I do have a bottle up there. I liked the single barrel Chestnut Hill Farms bottle so well. I went ahead and bought another one of the bottled in bond. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it too. And then I'll have a backup. So that's kind of what that one was. And like I said, it's hard for me to pass up a good price on them. So the normal price on this was $99.99. I think I got this for $79.99 on sale at Total Wine. And then of course I use my points and everything else, get another $5 off. Who can't beat that, right? I didn't invite anyone. But while we're going through here, we still have a few minutes. This shows aren't usually, or this show won't be that long. But go ahead and pour your favorite bourbon or just a bourbon that you want to sip on tonight. Enjoy a drink with me, and we'll get through this together. So, cheers. Let's see, what else did I get? I got a little story about that. All right, this was an auction win. I don't see this around here too much. This is the Black Saddle Kentucky Straight Bourbon. This one happens to be 12 years old. It's only 90 proof. Uh, I am an aged bourbon guy, so if it has some age to it, I'm curious. I'm curious about it. This one is Black Saddle. The bottle on this one's pretty cool. We'll talk about it more in an episode. I don't know a whole lot about it. I didn't research this a lot. On some of those auctions, I just wait till the last day and I see some of these prices. If they value a bottle so much and it's so much under that price, it's hard for me to pass up. This one was 12 years old as well. We'll have to do a tasting on it to see what we think. That's all I can say about that one. This is another bottle that's similar to that. Is another auction win? Is the same thing? Never say die. I do see this one in the liquor barn a lot. This is just a Kentucky straight bourbon, uh, 95 proof. I don't know too much about these bottles, but I did see this one. Uh, like I said, I got it for such a good price, I couldn't pass it up. Did win an auction to get it, so you still have to pay for shipping and everything. So when I say I got it for a good price, I got it for a good price after shipping and after taxes and after the auction fees. I still come in well under the shelf price. So just if you all are a secondary buyer of bourbon, I do suggest getting on some of these auction sites. Find one you can trust. There are several bourbon auction sites you can get. There's some bourbon auction sites overseas. Uh, the prices of these things and the shipping of these things, it's all about the same. So whichever one that you feel like you like, or whichever one you think you're getting the best, I would definitely suggest looking for some bottles on the auction sites, because your secondary market, it is so outrageous right now. You can probably get that bottle you're looking for about half the price, or maybe just save a couple $100. If it's one of those that's 12, $1,500 on secondary, you can probably at least save $200 even after all your shipping and everything on the auctions. I really suggest that you go for that. I get a lot of my bottles at the auction because I don't go secondary market and buy anything. The auction is higher than MSRP. You don't get them too much lower. Some of these bottles that are lesser known, you'll get for less than, liquor barn prices, even after shipping. But some of your bigger bottles, you're not. You're going to get them more than MSRP, but less than secondary. That's how we got our Van Winkle 12. We did an episode on that. If you didn't watch it, you ought to go back and watch that one. But when we did the Van Winkle 12, they were going for about 1,100 to $1,200, yeah, on secondary. Even some of the local liquor stores, they kind of charge secondary prices now, which is crazy. But they had them for 11 or 1,200. We go in there and talk to them, try to get them down. They won't come down because people buy them for that. MSRP on that thing's like 149 to $179, something like that. It's under 200, I know, for the 12 year. And anyway, on the auction, so just say the MSRP was 200, I paid 500. By the time I get it shipped and everything, I'm at 6, but I'm still half the price of what I would have got it for at that small liquor store or on the secondary market. So keep that in mind. Now, I hadn't heard of this one. This is a Blackwood Toasted 105 Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Uh, so 105 proof Blackwood. This is also at the Liquor Barn allocated shelf. I pulled it off of there. I think it's just because it's the toasted. I don't know. I've done some more looking for some more Blackwood products, and I have seen a couple other bottles, but I didn't buy them. But this one here, got it at Liquor Barn. Free. Hope it's going to be good. We're going to do a tasting on it and see. So this one here, if you watch our episodes, you've seen me talk about this bottle. This is a this is a special bottle and had a good story behind it and how I got it. Haven't opened it yet, but it's the Old Fitzgerald bottled in bond. This is the 11-year age. Um, it's another one of those bottles. I didn't pay secondary, but I didn't pay MSRP. It's one of those kind of bottles, but I didn't get this one at an auction. These bottles, you the auction, they are high. They're more like a secondary range. So this one, if you can find it and work out a good deal, you ought to go ahead and do that somewhere else. The auctions are a little steep on those, but I guess it's all depending on what people are willing to pay for them, right? All right, I'm gonna save these for a little bit. So this one here, this is the Bluegrass Distilleries Elkwood Reserve. This is the toasted oak, aged 10 years. Uh, Man, this one here's got a good story about it. So this is cast strength 122 proof, release number one. Uh, it's actually a little older than 10 years because it's filled on 8/22/14, bottled on 5/22/25. So it's over 10 years, but 10 years aged, 122 proof, Elkwood Reserve. This 122 proof is smooth. Um, it is really good. So we just went to a retirement celebration. Congratulations, by the way. Uh, but we went to a retirement celebration, and at the bar there, it was at Bluegrass Distillery, which their brand new distillery in Midway, Kentucky. They had a tour and everything there beforehand. You could take the tour, celebrate that retirement with that young man. And anyway, this was my favorite bourbon of the night. So, and I did have the 18-year Elkwood Reserve. Now, if you watched our episode, we didn't do it on the Elkwood Reserve 15, I don't think, but the Elkwood Reserve 15 by Bluegrass, that was the buff turkey. So, if you uh, if you watch our buff turkey episode, you'll hear about that. This one is not a buff turkey; it's 10 years old, toasted, very, very good. We'll do a show on it, and you'll get a very, very good rating on it, I'm sure. We'll have to see what Ryan thought. So this one here, picked it up uh, there at Liquor Barn 2. This is another one of those kind of just the special bottles. This is the Elijah Craig Small Batch, Kentucky Straight Bourbon. It's 94 proof, but it's the 2025 PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. Uh, Pretty much a special bottle, but I'm gonna open this bottle and drink it. Tell you all about it. If you're into collecting bottles, just like the Woodford Reserve Derby bottles or Maker's Mark, the different bottles that they have, then this would be a good bottle to collect. I'm going to taste it to see if it's a good bottle to taste and collect. But I believe it's the same as Kentucky's. I think it's the same as their small batch, the proof and everything. So I don't think there's anything real special about what's inside. So we'll taste it and we'll find out. Maybe compare it to another one. All right, so this is in Maysville, Kentucky, there, right up along the river. This is the Augusta Distilleries, Buckner's 10 year. It's aged 10 years, 108.8 proof. I heard many good things about this bottle. The sad thing is I couldn't get it here in Kentucky, so I did have to win this at an auction. Um, I paid MSRP for it, and then had to pay shipping. And the only reason is because I can't find them around here, which is odd. Uh, but I couldn't. So anyway, this is their single barrel, 10 years old. And like I said, I like the aged bourbons a little bit, so I keep a lookout for those. So this one here is a different kind of bottle for me. This is the Spirits of the Apocalypse, The Walking Dead Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Now I live about 14 miles from Cynthiana, and Cynthiana is where the writer of The Walking Dead was from. So I purchased this. Now, even the bottle doesn't give you a whole lot of information. I thought the bottle was supposed to give you the distillery, all that kind of stuff. And this is batch one. It's 94 proof. So all that's on there. It's Skybound presents Spirit of Apocalypse. But this is some small writing here. So without my glasses, I could not find the distillery. And I did look for it. So I don't know where that come from. If you know what this bottle is or where it come from, or if you've ever had it before, let me know and send me a comment and let me know about it. So this one is my most curious out of these, the one I know probably the least about, and a bottle that I have never ever seen before, except on the auction where I won it and when it had the Kentucky Straight Bourbon and The Walking Dead. I am a fan. Come on, who's not a fan of The Walking Dead, right? Especially the early years. So this one here and this one here. So this is Ofitz, and this is Ofitz bottled in bond 7 year. This is of course 100 proof because it's bottled in bond Kentucky straight bourbon. This is the 7 year. I was real excited to get this bottle. Uh, Went there to Liquor Barn same day with the sweet wheats that we went and picked up, looking for one of these and one of those. All these were gone. Uh, Later that evening, we were out and about and we stopped by and they had a basket with this in it. So the MSRP on this, guys, 69.99 or something like that. So $70 there at Liquor Barn, which I thought was a pretty good price. What I thought was an excellent price because I haven't seen them on auction site or anything anywhere near $70. They're all going for a lot more. This is a highly touted bourbon. Everybody's looking for this bourbon, so it's a very hard one to get. Coveted by many. They're wanting this thing. Now, I don't know if they're wanting to collect it, put it on their shelf. We're going to drink ours and we're going to do a review of it to let you know if it's worth it. And at $70, I could say it's probably already worth it without even opening the bottle. But anyway, we'll let you know, and you can, want to, you can either trust what we say or go find out for yourself. But anyway, so went back to Liquor Barn after the sweet wheat thing. Went back later that night. They had a basket. The basket was $103. Had a small bottle of wine with it, so I was very glad to see that. Bought it up, so I had to pay $103 basically just for this bottle. But MSRP was 70, so I didn't think that was too bad. Gifted the wine to somebody else, so made a friend. This one here, this is just the regular old Fitzgerald from Old Fitzgerald Distillery Prime Bourbon. It says 90 or 80 proof, uh, and I couldn't have these two and not just go buy this 11 to $15 bottle of bourbon. So I went ahead and bought this the same time I bought this one, just so I could have it. And I'd like to open this one first and try it before I ever open either one of these. I don't know if I'll do a show on this one, maybe a short or maybe one of these videos, not a live show. Maybe I will do a live show. Who knows? But that's how I got that box. All right, we're getting down to the nitty gritty now. So I'm going to go with this one. I already talked about this one a little bit on one of our episodes. I don't remember what episode it was, but this is the Blood Oath. Yeah, it was We've Strunk Gold episode because I got this bottle the same time I went and picked up that bottle. So good story about that one. Maybe even better story about this one. I don't know because how often do you get lucky enough to go find Blood Oath? So I got it at Liquor Barn as well. One of my favorite stops. Anyway, so that's a Blood Oak pack 11, packed 11, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey finished in I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but it's tequila. It's finished with tequila something. So there you go. That's the Blood Oath pack 11. So you can see that one. This one may be the favorite one that I know that I bought this month. So I did have to win this one at an auction. I did have to pay more than MSRP to get it, but this is a bottle I've been seeking for a long time, and I don't know how long, but if you go back and watch our episode with the Heaven Hill Distillery haul that we had, you've got a ton of bottles laying on the thing here with they're all Heaven Hill products. When we did that tour, we went to their restaurant, we sat down, we had a bite to eat. I did, and Evan Williams, uh, 12 years for my drink at the bar. Uh, and it was pretty incredible. So I had to find a bottle. I had to try a bottle for myself because I want to know if it was the atmosphere and the situation I was in that made it so outstanding to me, or if it's just an outstanding bourbon. So it's 12 years old, 101 proof, Evan Williams, Kentucky Straight Bourbon, Heaven Hill product, and I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out if I like it just as much out of this bottle as I did at the distillery that day. But the distillery was an awesome experience. I was there with my brother and sister-in-law, and we were having an incredible day. My wife too. Just an incredible time, an incredible day. So incredible company and everything sometimes makes a bourbon better. But I'm hoping this is just as good as it was that day, or at least it takes me back to the day that this happened because it was a great day. So that's the Evan Williams. I'm real excited about that bottle. Uh, so at the auctions, I kept bidding $95 on this bottle, and I went months and did not win it for $95. So you still get on there. I bid on three more since I got this, and still haven't won it for $95 again. So sometimes you just put in your max and you get lucky because at $95, it's probably by the time it gets to my door delivered and everything, it's probably $140 bottle. So it's probably double the price double MSRP. And that is through an auction. So not all the time do you get great deals at the auction, especially on coveted bottles. Now, some bottles that people don't know about, uh, you might get some super great deals on. Because I got these for like 15 bucks, and this is a $70 bottle at Liquor Barn. So I've never seen this before, so I don't know. But $15, by the time it gets delivered, it's still $45, but still that saved me 30 bucks. So anyway, let's just give you an example of some of the auction stuff. Still better than secondary. All right. So for Father's Day, got to tour Maker's Mark, which is one of the, it's probably, I don't know, but it's a great tour. It's a great distillery with great product. I really enjoyed the tour. I enjoyed the grounds. I enjoyed my company. It was my Father's Day, so my son and daughter, my wife were there. We had one of those fantastic days. Uh, this was the clue to what we were doing that day. So I got this little Maker's Mark bottle. I guess actually the Bourbon Basement didn't buy this. This was a gift, so maybe it shouldn't be in here with all this. But these three bottles, the Bourbon Basement did buy. And the reason I did is because we got to dip these ourselves. So this is the Maker's Mark 101. Of course, it's 101 proof, but it's the leader. And that one is professionally dipped by my son and co-star Ryan Farrell. So he dipped this one. It looks pretty professional going all the way around through there. All right. Then this one here is just the Maker's Mark, number 46 French Oak. This one was dipped by my producer and daughter. They did this one. Looks real good. They did get a little drip down here they wanted to tear off. I wouldn't let them scrape that off. And then on the back here, they had kind of a double run, which is a little error. But other than that, I think for two people getting in there, I mean, they did have a good long drip right here. I like it. I think it looks pretty good. And this one here is the one that me, myself, and I did. I got the longest trail. So I thought that was pretty good. The guy seemed pretty excited about that. This is the Maker's Mark Sticky Toffee Pudding, Star Hill Farms, Kentucky. This is 108 proof. These are the private selection bourbons. And on the tour, you'll learn that these private selection bourbons are one of a kind to where they are. So if you go to Total Wine and you see a private selection bourbon, they're the only ones that's going to have that. If you go to Liquor Barn and you see private selection bourbon, they're the only ones that's going to have that. And what it is the stave mix that you have here is unique to that distiller or to that particular location. So Total Wine has sent somebody, they've done a private selection and they've numbered their staves the way they want. So it gets tell you, I'm going into too much. Anyway, so these are we'll talk about that when we do an episode on it. I'll do a private selection episode. I wasn't going to buy private selection bottles because there can be so many, but I needed one. And so I got it at the distillery. This particular stave setting is unique to Maker's Mark Distillery. They named it the Sticky Toffee Pudding. Uh, this one here, I hand dipped it myself. Got two big runs. They were real excited. The only thing, and it didn't show up until later, was that little bubble in the back. So I messed it up. So I think Ryan was about the most consistent with his dip on the bottle on the 101. So these are the bottles we got here at the Kentucky basement just in the month of June. And all I can say, guys, is help because this ain't right. This is too much. I'm hoping in the month of July, I'm hoping there's just as many bottles, but my pocketbook is not hoping there's just this many bottles. So if I put all these bottles over here, how many y'all think we got? Because it's a bunch. If I gave you all three guesses, I bet you all couldn't guess. I'd say somebody would say, oh, 10, 12, 15. How many bottles can you buy in a month, Steve? Well, the answer is never enough, but always too much. And so just setting them all up here and looking at this haul of bourbon that I got, I think it's definitely help time. But anyway, so 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 2, 3, 4, 25 bottles in 30 days. Challenge accepted. Cheers. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Uh, we'll do it again next month. Till next time, why drink alone when you can drink with us?